Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture on Amazon GuardDuty. So this lecture will contain all these topics. What is Amazon GuardDuty? GuardDuty intelligence threat detection, protecting your AWS environment, enhancing AWS security visibility, malware protection, GuardDuty runtime monitoring, Amazon S3 protection in GuardDuty, GuardDuty RDS protection, Lambda protection in Amazon GuardDuty, and EKS audit log monitoring. So first 4 slides will be about GuardDuty, what is the service does and what all benefits it protects, and something about enhancing your security posture. And from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and till 10, those last 6 will be about all those features one by one. So first 4 will be more about what is GuardDuty, what it does and all. So what is Amazon GuardDuty? GuardDuty is a threat detection service that constantly monitors your AWS environment to identify potential security risks, ensuring your resources remain secure. GuardDuty processes and analyzes crucial data sources, including AWS CloudTrail management events and logs, VPC flow logs from Amazon EC2 instances, and DNS logs to detect potential threats. In addition to foundational data sources, GuardDuty offers monitoring for logs and events from various AWS services such as Kubernetes audit logs, RDS login activity, S3 logs, EBS volumes, runtime monitoring, and Lambda network activity logs. To simplify and streamline its offerings, GuardDuty groups these diverse log and event sources under the umbrella term features, making it easier for users to understand and manage the service capabilities. GuardDuty intelligent threat detection. GuardDuty leverages list of malicious IP addresses and domains along with sophisticated machine learning models to effectively identify potential threats within your AWS environment. The service is designed to detect any activity that appears unexpected, unauthorized, or malicious, helping you stay ahead of potential security breaches. GuardDuty can identify attempts to escalate privileges or the use of exposed credentials, allowing you to address these critical security issues promptly. By keeping track of communication between your resources and known malicious IP addresses or domains, GuardDuty helps you identify and mitigate potential threats. The service can detect the presence of malware on your Amazon EC2 instances and container workloads, enabling you to take swift action to secure your environment. GuardDuty can identify unusual patterns of login events on your databases, helping you spot potential unauthorized access attempts and protect your sensitive data. So protecting your AWS environment. GuardDuty continuously monitors your EC2 instances and container workloads to identify potential compromises. The service can detect if your EC2 instances or containers are being used to distribute malware or mine Bitcoin, helping you promptly address these threats. GuardDuty keeps a close eye on your AWS account access patterns, looking for signs of potential compromise that could put your resources at risk. If GuardDuty detects instances being deployed in a region that has not been used before, it will alert you to potential unauthorized infrastructure deployments. The service monitors for unusual API calls, such as changes to password policies that reduce password strength, helping you identify and respond to potential security threats. So let's see something about enhancing your AWS security visibility or security posture. When enabled, GuardDuty offers insights into overall security status of your AWS environment, helping you identify potential vulnerabilities and threats. GuardDuty actively monitors your AWS environment and generates findings when it detects potential security risks, providing you with further details about each issue. You can set up Amazon Event Bridge to receive notifications whenever GuardDuty generates a new finding, ensuring you stay informed about potential security concerns. In addition to identifying security risks, GuardDuty also suggests actionable steps to help you remediate the identified issues and strengthen your AWS environment security posture. GuardDuty enables you to export the generated findings to an Amazon Simple Storage Service Amazon S3 bucket, making it easier to store, analyze, and share the security data with other tools and teams. GuardDuty seamlessly integrates with other AWS security services such as AWS Security Hub and Amazon Detective, allowing you to further analyze and investigate security trends and patterns in your environment. So let's see all the features now one by one. So we have covered what is GuardDuty like comprehensive overview. Now let's see features one by one. So first one is malware protection. Malware protection helps you detect the potential presence of malware by scanning the Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS volumes that are attached to Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud EC2 instances and container workloads. Malware protection provides scan options where you can decide if you want to include or exclude specific Amazon EC2 instances and container workloads at the time of scanning. It also provides an option to retain the snapshots of Amazon EBS volumes attached to Amazon EC2 instances or container workloads in your GuardDuty accounts. The snapshots gets retained only when malware is found and malware protection findings are generated. Okay, next feature is GuardDuty Runtime Monitoring. Runtime monitoring is available for a variety of AWS resources, including Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service EKS, Fargate on Amazon Elastic Container Service ECS, and Amazon EC2 instances. Runtime monitoring keeps an eye on operating system level activities, network traffic, and file events to identify potential security threats within specific AWS workloads in your environment. The service employs a GuardDuty security agent that provides insight into runtime behavior such as file access, process execution, command line arguments, and network connections, enhancing threat detection capabilities. For each resource type that you want to monitor, you can choose to manage the security agent automatically, which allows GuardDuty to install and update it, or manually, so you take responsibility for installation and updates yourself. Automatic management is not available for Fargate on ECS, Amazon ECS, so you have to manually install and configure it. This is only for Fargate on Amazon Elastic Container Service. GuardDuty Runtime Monitoring helps you detect and respond to potential security threats that may target applications and data running within your individual workloads and instances. One example could be compromised container running vulnerable web app. So a potential threat scenario could involve a single compromised container running a vulnerable web application. If this application has access permissions to underlying containers and workloads, and if credentials are incorrectly configured, it could lead to unauthorized access to the broader account and its stored data. Okay, next feature is Amazon S3 protection in GuardDuty. S3 protection helps GuardDuty monitor AWS CloudTrail data events for Amazon S3 that include object level API operations to identify potential security risks for data within Amazon S3 buckets. GuardDuty monitors both AWS CloudTrail management events and AWS CloudTrail S3 data events to identify potential threats in your Amazon S3 resources. Both the data sources monitor different kind of activities. Examples of CloudTrail management events for S3 include operations that list or configure Amazon S3 buckets such as list buckets, delete buckets, put bucket replications. Examples of CloudTrail data events for S3 include object level API operations such as get object, list objects, delete object, and put object. When you enable Amazon GuardDuty for an AWS account, GuardDuty starts monitoring CloudTrail management events. You don't need to manually enable or configure S3 data event logging in AWS CloudTrail. You can enable the S3 protection feature that monitors CloudTrail data events for S3 for any account in any AWS region where this feature is available within Amazon GuardDuty at any time. It is recommended to enable S3 protection in GuardDuty. If this feature is not enabled, GuardDuty will not be able to fully monitor your Amazon S3 buckets or generate findings for suspicious access to the data stored in your S3 buckets. Okay, next feature is GuardDuty RDS protection. So RDS protection in Amazon GuardDuty analyzes and profiles RDS login activity for potential access threats to your Amazon Aurora databases and Amazon Aurora MySQL compatible edition and Amazon Aurora Postgres compatible edition. So it only supports Aurora within RDS, not any other, just the Aurora. This feature allows you to identify potential suspicious login behavior. RDS protection does not require additional infrastructure. It is designed so as not to affect the performance of your database instances. So Aurora, but Aurora has two, like one is MySQL compatibility and Postgres, so it supports both, but only Aurora flavor. When RDS protection detects a potentially suspicious or anomalous login attempt that indicates a threat to your database, GuardDuty generates a new finding with details about the potentially compromised database. You can enable or disable the RDS protection feature for any account in any AWS region where this feature is available within GuardDuty at any time. So same as before. An existing GuardDuty account can enable RDS protection with a 30-day trial period, and for a new GuardDuty account, RDS protection is already enabled and included in the 30-day free trial period. Okay, next feature is Lambda protection. Lambda protection helps you identify potential security threats when an AWS Lambda function gets invoked in your AWS environment. When you enable Lambda protection, GuardDuty starts monitoring Lambda network activity logs, starting with VPC flow logs from all Lambda functions for account, including those logs that don't use VPC networking and are generated when the Lambda function gets invoked. If GuardDuty identifies suspicious network traffic that is indicative of the presence of a potentially malicious piece of code in your Lambda function, GuardDuty will generate a finding. You can configure Lambda protection for any account or available AWS regions at any time. And by default, an existing GuardDuty account can enable Lambda protection with a 30-day trial period. And for a new GuardDuty account, Lambda protection is already enabled and included in the 30-day trial period. Okay, next feature is EKS audit log monitoring. EKS audit logs capture sequential actions within your Amazon EKS cluster, including activities from users, application using the Kubernetes API, and the control plane. Audit logging is a component of all Kubernetes cluster. Amazon EKS allows EKS audit logs to be ingested as Amazon CloudWatch logs through the EKS control plane logging feature. GuardDuty does not manage your Amazon EKS control plane logging or make EKS audit logs accessible in your account if you have not enabled them for Amazon EKS. To manage access to and retention of your EKS audit logs, you must configure the Amazon EKS control plane logging feature. So this is a dependency. GuardDuty is just relying on Amazon EKS control plane logging, which gets ingested to Amazon CloudWatch logs, and from that point onwards, GuardDuty will be doing its job. EKS audit log monitoring helps you detect potentially suspicious activity in your EKS clusters within Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service. When you enable EKS audit log monitoring, GuardDuty immediately begins to monitor EKS audit log monitoring from your Amazon EKS clusters and analyze them for potentially malicious and suspicious activity. It consumes Kubernetes audit log events directly from the Amazon EKS control plane logging feature through an independent and duplicative stream of audit logs. So it will just create a duplicate and independent stream of audit logs, And this process does not require any additional setup or affect any existing Amazon EKS control plane logging configurations that you might have. And that's all. Thanks for watching.